This weekend, ahead of Thanksgiving Day, I want to talk about silver lining thinking. It is a powerful attribute of gratitude that we can put into our lives. Let me tell you a story. This is a story about a man named Todd. He moved to a new state to find a new job. Quickly after getting the job, he felt like he had made the biggest mistake in his life. Every day he was miserable, and he thought about how miserable he was, and he became more miserable. He got up and he had to force himself every day to get dressed, to put on his tie, to put on his coat, and he forced himself to go out to his car, to start it, and to go to work. He resisted every single day. He just had to pull himself through the day. Life was a living, hellish experience for Todd. Todd said, "My mother used to sing a song to me about looking for the silver lining." And I thought about that one of those days when I was driving to work and dreading the day so much. She sang, "There is always a silver lining, no matter how black the clouds are." And he started to reflect and he started to say to himself, "You know, I believe that. That is where I choose to focus my thoughts instead of the black clouds." Now, my friend, silver lining thinking does not mean denying your problems. It simply reflects the fact that there are always some positive aspects to be found and discovered. Well, Todd began to think about it, about all the new friends that he had gained, about some of the things that he was doing that he absolutely loved. And within a very short time, 4.5 months, he fell in love with his life, and he fell in love with his job. He was no longer resisting it. He changed from inside out. He loved everything about his life, and he thought, and he wrote to us, and he said, "Isn't that amazing?" Now, he was using the gratitude system in doing this. "How in the world can this be?" he questioned. Well, this is the way it works. It is because he changed his mind. And my friends, we don't live out here, we live in here. This is where we live, right here in our minds. If we change our thinking, we change our outer experiences. When something really bad happens, you practice the at least rule. You write down 5 things that at least you're grateful for. There was a woman that had an auto accident one day, and she said, well, at least no one was hurt. At least my car can be repaired. At least it's drivable. At least the other person has insurance. And by the time she got to her 5th thing, she found 5 more that she was grateful for. And she just kept on to the point that joy, absolute joy of God infilled her. Instead of depression, instead of the great anxiety and stress that comes from a bad moment. My friend, this weekend, start to practice ahead of Thanksgiving Day. Gratitude to God with silver lining thinking.